to any fans listening to this too, I might look scary on the field, but I'm not. If you want to come up to me and talk to me, ask me for an autograph, anything, feel free. I'm always here. I'm here for you guys. Without fans, this game would be pretty boring.
Hey kids, welcome to Fancast. We have a very special guest with us today. It's brand new Chicago Dogs, Jaxx Groshans. Jaxx, thanks for joining us, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much for having me on here, and I appreciate it.
Let's start with that name. Is Jaxx your real name, or is it a nickname, or short for Jackson? What's the story with your name?
So that's my full legal name, Jaxx.
Wow.
There's a couple theories about how that kind of came to be, but the one I stick with basically is that my parents thought it sounded cool, and
Yeah.
it stuck. So that's me, full legal name.
All
Yeah,
right. That's awesome. I love it. Well, before we talk dogs, I want to take a step back and find out, how did you fall in love with the game of baseball? Was there a baseball hero, or maybe someone who inspired you to pursue the game and go pro?
I wouldn't say it's really one single person. I
Okay.
think it's more like a group effort. My dad, my mom, my grandmother, and the three of them when I was younger, like really, really young, obviously, before really I had kind of the coherence to remember a lot of it. They were kind of surrounding me with the sport a little bit, and me and my brother, I have a younger brother as well, and both of us were kind of introduced to the game very young.
Mhm.
And from as far back as I can remember, this is just something that we wanted to do. We've been around the game a long time. I think I started playing when I was 4 years old,
Wow.
t-ball and whatnot. But yeah, it's been something that it's been my favorite game for as long as I can remember. I remember, I lived in Dallas for 11 years before I moved down here to Houston. So, we would go to Rangers games and all that stuff growing up. So I would be able to just being around the game and, my dad, instilling kind of that love for it in me
Sure.
is really kind of what carried me to this point.
You just participated in a baseball tournament in China. Is that true? And if it is, tell us about that experience.
Yeah, so I went over there. I was actually over the last 2 years just because I've been trying to get back into affiliated baseball. I've been playing any ball the last few years. The biggest thing for me was to try and go overseas or somewhere to play winter ball to get the at bats to kind of improve my chances of signing. And I was supposed to go to Puerto Rico originally. I had talked to the GM down in Ponce, and that was there for probably a week or so, and then it kind of just dropped off. So I had no idea what I was going to do. And then Sammy Benjamin, who was my right fielder over there, his dad actually helped me out and called me and was like, "Hey, there's this brand new winter league in China, and I told the manager over there about you, and he said they really wanted you over there. So here's his number, give him a call." So that ended up working out in my favor. But so I didn't really realize this. I had played in Taiwan in 2018.
Wow.
Yeah, it's 2018 going into my junior year. We went over there when I was with Kansas for the World University Games.
Okay.
And so I was kind of familiar with Asian baseball,
Mhm.
but there was no professional baseball in China
Wow.
until this year. So this year was like the pioneer year of it.
Oh,
The very first, glimpse of professional baseball that, the country's ever had.
right.
And I'm not gonna lie, I talked to my manager when I was over there. I didn't think that league was really going to be very impressive. You know what I mean? Like first thing I heard was this is a brand new league. It's the first year. There's going to be a lot of kinks and stuff that you got to work out. I couldn't have been more wrong. I mean,
Wow.
they treated the Americans like gold over there. We felt like superheroes for a
Yeah.
month. You know what I mean? They put us up in really really good facilities. We stayed in a 4-star hotel. We had access to the field every single day. The weight room was there. The food was really cheap, and the competition was good.
Yeah.
So fortunately, we ended up going all the way. We won the
Wow.
entire championship over there, and it's an unbelievable experience. So I'm going back there next year for winter ball
Okay.
as well. And I already talked
Wow.
to the people in the organization about if they want me and some of the other Americans that came with us over there to come back, and they said absolutely. So
Oh, how cool. So were you playing as just Team America or Team USA, or was it you incorporated into a Chinese team there, or was it a kind of a global tournament?
no, so it was we represented the Shenzhen Blue Sox, which was the home
Mm.
team
Okay.
there. So I believe the way that it worked, and I'm probably wrong when it comes to this because I didn't really look at a bunch of the stipulations for it.
Yeah.
I think there was 10 imports, and then the rest of them were Chinese kids.
Okay.
So the guy who ran the team over there, his name is Ray Chang. He was the manager. He runs the MLB Development Center in Shanghai,
Wow.
and a bunch of the guys that were on our team were either people who had graduated from the development center or guys who were currently there. So
Yeah.
I was, I mean, I'm 27 years old. There was me and two other guys, and we were like the vets in the clubhouse. So we were teaching all the kids. It was really cool though,
Yeah.
because obviously baseball is not, it's starting to grow a little bit over there, but it's not as big in China as it is here.
Sure.
So they're still trying to learn about, how to play the game, the fundamentals, like what to do. And Ray's a very good mentor for that whole thing. He was a really good player when he was in the minor leagues. He does an amazing job over there. And, being over there as players, we would play on that team, but we would also get the chance to kind of be mentors and coaches to some of those younger guys and kind of
Sure.
show them the ropes and the love for the game that we've grown up having.
I know in Japan, the crowds are really into it. Was it kind of the same there with the crowds or different?
So the crowds were unbelievable. The crowds in and of themselves, I think the capacity for the place was maybe 4,000 if you squeaked everybody in there. So on average, we were probably getting like 1,500, 2 grand a night,
Yeah.
and it sounded like 10,000. It
Wow.
was unbelievable. And it's funny too, because like those people really, if you show them a baseball, they'll know what it is, but they don't know anything about the rules. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? About because it's not a big thing over there. So, but they cheered like no tomorrow. They loved us. They were so into it. And I think that's a big part for them, why they want to keep the league going, is because
Sure.
obviously, incorporating some new type of atmosphere instead of going to, you know, a basketball game or KTV or whatever the case may be, or the bars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just to find a recreational family environment, they loved it. It
Wow.
was incredible. I loved it.
So you've been in the American Association since 2023. Now, most fans should know, but just in case, you've played full seasons for the Dockhounds and the Railroaders. For some reason, I always hear in my head Brad Allred going, Jaxx Groshans.
Yeah.
But you played for Dockhounds, Roaders, and in 2024 with the Roaders, you were the East Division All-Star and 2024 postseason All-Star. So you've got some bona fides if our fans don't know it. And then you signed with the Dogs in January 15th in a trade. So can you tell us how you came to Chicago? Did you request to join or who contacted you? How did that come about?
The trade caught me completely by surprise. I was in the middle of my season in winter ball playing, and I was on the phone with my dad. And I talked to my manager from Cleveland before I had left, and he was like, we're excited to have you. Everything's great. You're going to be the guy. They had another catcher sign. This guy's going to be the guy that, supplements you.
Hmm.
I was like, all right, sweet. I'm going to go over here to China, do my thing. And by the time I come back, if I don't get signed over there, then I'm going to be ready to go.
Right.
And then I got the call on the 15th. I didn't even hear the phone go off because like I was on the phone call with my dad,
Wow.
and the phone call came through. It just said Pete Incaviglia left you a voicemail. So I was like, okay, well,
Ah,
what's going on here? Ended the phone call with my dad, listened to the voicemail, and it was like, hey man, just want to say thank you for everything you've done. I traded you to Chicago this morning,
wow.
and I got an offer I couldn't refuse, so we just got to do it. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay. I was actually out with a couple of my teammates getting some dinner after the game, and Stan Clyburn, the new manager, called me, and he
Okay.
was like, just wanted to let you know, like when this whole thing came up, like you were the one we wanted, and this is going to be a big thing. Like we're really happy to have you here, and we think that you're going to be a big part of what we got going on in 2026.
Wow.
So when I heard that, I was like, you know what? I'm going to run with it and I'm going to go. And, if you look at my numbers, I've always hit pretty well in
Yeah.
Chicago. I've loved playing there. It's a great city. So I'm not, I'm looking forward to it. I think
Good.
it's going to be something that definitely was a little bit, how do I say? I mean, I wasn't really prepared for it to happen,
Right.
but God puts those things in your path for a reason. And, he doesn't do anything without justification for it. So I know that, he put this in my way for a reason. And I think I'm just going to try and bloom where I'm planted. And I think,
Awesome.
being around Stan and I've heard a lot of good things about Stu as well from guys who have
Yep.
played there and pitched there. I just got a really good feeling about how 2026 is going to go for the guys.
And then we've got our MLB veteran catcher, Chance Cisco. Have you had any conversations with him yet?
So he reached out to me shortly after I got traded. He basically called and welcomed me to the team. And he basically was saying, because he's going to be a player coach this year, he was
Yes.
like, I'm really excited, to learn from you guys, as you guys can learn from me. If there's anything that I need, just to reach out. He caught in the big leagues. The big leagues is where I'm aiming to be. So I'm definitely going to reach out to him with some video and kind of try and, get in his ear a little bit and see what
Yep.
he thinks. But I'm excited. I'm excited to get to learn from him.
For the fans that don't know, what type of player are you? How would you describe yourself if people aren't familiar with you?
Spark plug. That's the biggest way that I can think.
That's cool.
Especially now that I've gotten a little bit older, I've been around the game a little bit longer and being around guys who have been in the game longer than me. I've tried to learn kind of what it means to be a leader on the field without speaking. Yeah, I just want to try and be one who leads by example.
Sure.
So I'm definitely a spark plug. If things go down early, I'm gonna rally, do whatever I can. I'm very emotional in a good way.
Yeah.
I will get fired up. But that's just how I play the game. That's how it's been instilled in me since, from a young age is, I go hard or go home. I'm gonna do everything I can to help my team win. And at the end of the day, that's the biggest thing that matters is, the other 24, 25, 26 guys in the clubhouse. I'm gonna have their back 150%. No matter what it takes, we're gonna try and get the job done. So I want to try and be at the forefront of that.
Mhm.
But then again, it's not about me. It's about
Right.
us. So
Yeah.
I just want to do everything I can to make the team happy, make the fans happy, and win ball games.
Cool. I have a feeling you're going to be one of the fan favorites out there for sure.
I hope so. I hope so. To any fans listening to this too, I might look scary on the field, but I'm not. If you want to come up to me and talk to me, ask me for an autograph, anything, feel free. I'm always here. I'm here for you guys. Without fans, this game would be pretty boring. So
For sure. You're definitely going to get help. We got a lot of good diehard fans out at Impact. Well, and speaking of Impact, so you've played there before. What do you like most about playing there? What are you kind of looking forward to?
ball flies to left field.
No kidding. All right.
Flies to left field.
Okay.
One of the first multi-home run games I had in my career was actually at Impact Field.
Oh, okay.
So I do hit very well there. And the biggest thing too, I've heard a lot about that the home clubhouse is very, very nice, probably one of the best in the league.
Wow.
Obviously, I haven't been up there to see it yet, but I'm looking forward to that. And it's probably the best batter's eye in the league, honestly. I've
Okay.
played there a lot. Whenever the lights go down, or like whenever the lights come on, the sun goes down, the big batter's eye in center
Yeah.
field makes it beautiful to hit at.
Let's talk about your number real quick. So you've worn number 11 in the past. Do you know if you'll be wearing that for the dogs?
I don't know if I'll be wearing it. I'm gonna try to get it. I haven't really talked to anybody about that yet, but whenever the forms and stuff come out for the jerseys, I'm definitely gonna try and snag that one.
Number 11's always been double dog. So if you get number 11, be prepared to hear double dog when you get
Double
them
dog. All
because
right.
the numbers look like little hot dogs. So they call you double dog.
I'm cool with it. It was
All
either
right.
that. I've been called Sticks, Double X in the past.
Oh,
You
double X.
know,
Oh, that's cool. I kind of
Double X. Yeah.
like I'm gonna make a t-shirt.
Yeah,
Double
Double
X.
X was Double X was definitely my nickname. A couple people called me Dos Equis at one point.
Oh, that is funny. I love it. Oh
So
my gosh.
obviously,
That's
yes, for for the fans who are old enough, yes, that's what
sure.
I'll
Yeah,
call it.
right.
But it's in Spanish, it's 2X. You know what I mean? So
All
Double X,
right.
might as
Oh,
well
we're
do
gonna
it.
have some fun with you this year, Jackson.
I'm looking forward to it, man.
Silly question. What about your gear? Do you have any specific brands or colors? Will you be wearing new dogs colored gear this year?
Funny enough, too, when I was with the Angels, I actually have red gear.
Oh,
So I'm gonna bring that with me.
there
And
you go.
then so I usually have two sets. I have a home set, which is probably gonna be my red, and then I have a away set, which is gonna be a graphite, almost kind of like a gunmetal gray.
Okay, cool.
As far as anything else, my cleats, I got some cleats that I got from a buddy when I was over in China that are pretty nice, and then I'm just gonna wear some normal Adi Zeros.
All
So
right. Exciting. Do you have a walk-up song that we should be listening for?
So yeah, I'm still actually I was in the middle of a lift too right before this, and I was talking to my dad about that. I don't know yet. So I test ran it a little bit when I was in China. So I did Hard to Choose One by Future is something that I've rolled with the
Oh,
last couple years. I like the beat of it.
mhm.
Puts me in the right mental state.
Cool.
And then I'm a big rocker. I don't know if you could tell with all the tattoos and whatnot, but I'm a big hard rock guy. So
Nice.
I might run with Awakened by Breaking Benjamin. So
Wow.
that's a
Wow.
good one.
All right. Very
And
cool.
plus, like as of right now, I'm not perfect, but I'm working on my faith and everything. I like to think that's a big part of my life and my career.
Sure.
And the lyrics of the chorus of that one, kind of correlate for me at least. They resonate with me in almost kind of a religious sense. So
Okay. Interesting. I'm not familiar with the song, but I'll definitely learn that. That's awesome.
it's a little heavy if you've never heard it, especially towards the end. But so just be aware of that if you listen to it.
No worries. Not afraid of a little heavy metal. All right. Well, speaking of dogs, I got to ask you the most important question. How do you like your hot dog?
I knew this was coming. Is it no ketchup? Is that what it is? No ketchup?
Well, that's what they say, yeah, because the Chicago style hot dog has no ketchup on it, but it's what everybody has their own taste. So
So
just
I'm
curious.
not gonna lie, a good Chicago dog with like the poppy seed bun,
Mhm.
is it pickles on top like
Yes.
or is it
Yeah, a pickle
like
slice. Yeah.
peppers?
Yeah.
Yeah, those I rock with those. Those
Okay,
are
cool.
solid. Like I will crush a Chicago dog. But if I'm at a ballpark, I will say I'm hoping I don't catch any flack from the fans from this. But I will. I mean, ketchup and mustard on a hot dog is pretty solid. It
Okay.
is. I'm gonna have to change that a little bit now that I'm,
Okay.
playing for Chicago Dogs, but hopefully we can edit that part out.
All right, Jax. Well, let's talk catching. What drew you to the catcher position in the first place?
It was a complete accident.
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah, it was a complete accident. I mean, I say accident, kind of, but not really. I was actually playing. My dad was my coach. I was playing little league for the Yankees team in Plano,
Hmm.
in Dallas, where I lived, and I played third base originally. And there was a
Wow.
guy, funny enough, actually, his name was Nick Fraze. He ended up pitching in AAA with the Toronto Blue Jays,
Wow.
and he was catching behind the plate. And I can't remember now. It's been a long time, but I want to say, he got hit on a foul tip and it, caught part of like his face where the mask wasn't protecting, or like he
Yeah.
turned his head and it freaked him out. So
Wow.
he started freaking out, and our coach was like, can anybody else catch? And
Yeah.
me being young, I was like, sure, I'll do it. Threw on the gear and ended up being good at it. And
Wow.
that's all she wrote. You know what I
That's
mean?
cool.
I've been doing that ever since.
Nice. Catching is obviously kind of mentally and physically demanding, among other things, right? So how do you manage the wear and tear of the position during a game and maybe throughout the season? What's your kind of mentality for that?
Recently, off the field stuff, being in the training room is a big thing. Just realizing, old saying, but your body's a temple. I'm trying to do everything I can to keep it in the best shape. I haven't really done a good job of that in the past. Sometimes my diet, it kind of goes by the wayside during the season, but at least over the last 6 to 8 months, I've really been trying to limit what I intake,
Right.
and making myself, the best I can be as far as, nutrition wise. But on the field, it just kind of comes with the territory. And, if I'm teaching catching lessons to anybody, I'm going to tell them the same thing. They call it the tools of ignorance for a reason. Like anytime that you put on the catcher's gear in a professional setting, something is going to happen. You're going to have to block baseballs. You're going to get a foul tip off the neck, the arm, the face. It's really just understanding that it's not really about you. It's about the guys that you're working with. And I think that's the biggest thing for me is I had somebody tell me a long time ago that being a catcher is being a servant leader. You know what I mean? So
Say it again. Being a what?
a servant leader.
Oh, interesting.
So my job as a catcher is to serve my pitchers. You know what I mean? Is to
Right.
help them be the best that they can be. And obviously there's going to be times in the game where I think there's a pitch that should be called, but at the end of the day, I'm not the one with the ball in my hand.
Right.
And I'll tell that to pitchers all the time. All I do is I put down recommendations, what I think is the best pitch to throw in that count. But when it comes down to it, you got to grip it. If I call a slider and you're not feeling it and you want to go heater, then that's on you. But
Yeah.
we got to execute it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's my job, and I'm pretty sure Chance would feel the same way. Is to help pitchers be the best versions of themselves that they can be, and we're just there as support for them.
And again, that's the average fan usually doesn't think a lot about that. And I even talked to Chance about that, the play calling or pitch calling and stuff in it. And you're right, it's we don't realize all the little subtleties of managing a game and calling a game. Let's talk about stealing. That's the exciting part of the game. So can you tell us about the art of catching a runner? Are you looking for any clues, eyes, feet, or maybe coach a sign? Are you able to kind of figure out what a steal sign is? How does that work for you?
Yeah, I mean, among other things, it's really just about kind of reading the runner, like
Okay.
knowing, okay, this guy, especially, I don't know how the analytics and stuff is concerned because I know some places that I've been, we've had analytics in indie ball, some places we haven't.
Okay.
But I know in like affiliated baseball, they'll give you, a rundown of all the statistics and stuff, so you can see how this guy is, X for how many,
Yeah.
stolen bases and stolen bases attempts he has. So you'll look at those guys before the game and be like, okay, if he gets on first base, there's probably like a 90% chance he's going to go.
Right.
But yeah, I will look at I'll look at the third base coach from time to time, and there's sometimes there's not any like verbal signs that they'll give. Maybe they'll
Mhm.
tug the jersey or they'll tap the helmet or do
Mhm.
something like that on first base to be like, hey, if you think you have a chance on this pitch, go.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'll try and kind of pick up on it. I'll look over in the third base coach's box sometimes, especially when he gets on, and I'll try and steal a glance. And if I see something that's pretty repetitive,
Yeah.
then I'm gonna try and go on that.
Got it.
But if I have an inkling that a guy's probably gonna go, I'm going to give myself the best chance I can, whether it's fastball in, fastball out.
Yeah.
I can throw somebody out on a curveball. It's harder.
That was
Um,
my next question is, so if you think a guy's going, do you always ask for the fastball or you got to call what you think is going to get the hitters out? And if he runs, then you got to do with it what you can.
yeah, I think that's kind of a 50-50 kind of
Okay.
thing there. Like if there's two outs and I know the guy on first base is probably going to book it, especially, 3-1, 3-2 count, two outs,
Hmm.
95% of the time he's probably going to steal.
Okay.
But, if I get to a two-strike count on a guy, I'd rather just, go for the punch out there or try and
Yeah.
get the last out. If he ends up, hitting a single, doubling the gap, then tip a gap to him.
Well, how about your technique? Do you throw from your knees or do you stand before you throw?
I'd kind of mix a little bit of both. It kind of just depends on what kind of jump the guy has and how the pitcher's throwing it.
Okay.
It's not absolving blame from me
Right.
or catchers in general, but I like 95% of stolen bases are on the pitcher.
Oh,
You know what I
really?
mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's not blaming pitchers in
Yeah.
any respect because there's some times where, I get a perfect pitch and he gives me a 1-2 to a 1-3 to the plate and then I sail it over the bag, right?
Sure.
Or I spike it or I do whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
100% that's on me.
Yeah.
If I get a good pitch and a good count, good transfer, clean throw, he should be out 95% of the time, unless the guy just got a burner jump.
Yeah.
But I mean, sometimes pitchers, especially in those situations that I was talking about, if they're going for a two-strike count and a punch out situation, they're not really going to throw you, they're not going to give you a 1-2 on a slide step on a 2-2 count.
Right.
It's going to be, they're going to take their time a little bit, get the ball ready, feel right, and then throw a strike.
Okay.
So makes it a little bit harder sometimes, but regardless of the situation, it's not like we got to do what we can do. So that's where leading into that, you're asking what like how I kind of throw. If I get a little bit of a slower time, say like a 1-4 or 1-5, I'm gonna huck it from my knees because that's the only chance I have.
Okay.
If I get a little bit of a lower time from the pitcher, then I'll get to my feet. I'm more of a one knee down setup guy,
Okay.
so that makes it a little bit easier for me
Yeah.
as far as getting into that spot to throw. But if I know I have time, I'm gonna get to my feet and go.
Got it. All right. You're talking to a guy who doesn't know anything really about the technique. So when you say like a 1-4 time, what is that? Is that like 1.4 seconds from the pitcher to you? Is that what
Yeah.
you're talking about? Really? Wow.
So I would say probably, I mean, a really, really good time, like stupid good time would be anywhere from like a 1-1 to a 1-2-3
Wow.
or one two
Okay.
five or something like that.
Yeah.
That's a slide step, good time to the plate. That's gonna keep most people at first base. Unless you're
Right.
talking about, Chandler Simpson, Bobby Witt, guys like that, like dudes who can fly,
Yeah.
they'll try and take their chances on that.
Okay.
But if I'm as a base runner, I'm a marginal speed guy. I mean, I can run a little bit. I'm not fast by any means. I'm a catcher. But like if I see a guy who's a 1-5, 1-4-5 to around like a 1-6, I'm going to try and test my luck there too.
Okay.
That's where like the big leg kick comes in. Obviously, he's still throwing 95 miles an hour,
Yeah.
but makes it a little bit harder.
Sure.
on us.
Yeah, every fraction of a second that where the ball doesn't get released. Yeah.
Because that's what it comes down to at second base.
Mhm.
I can have a really good exchange and throw a 185 down there, but it's a game of inches.
Can I ask you this about your dad? Was he a coach on the team with you when you were on the Duckhounds?
Yeah, he was actually.
Okay.
So Tom Kelnick is the owner in Lake Country. And Jared, his son Jared obviously made it to the big leagues. My brother played with him as well, made it to the big leagues in Miami in
No
2022.
kidding. Wow. See,
And
I wasn't aware. Wow.
yeah, he's a little brother, big role model. So annoying sometimes, but I got to give him his credit. He's a good man. He's a good baseball player.
And
So
what's his
obviously,
name, just for everyone?
Jordan Groshans.
Jordan Groshans. Okay.
Our coaching staff actually, we had to change coaching staffs like 2 weeks into the season.
Oh,
So
wow.
at that point, we didn't really have anybody, and my dad was kind of hanging out at home. So Tom called him and was like, "Hey, like, do you want to come up here and help us out for a little bit
Yeah.
until we find our new manager?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure."
Oh, cool.
Funny story about that actually, and I do say this to kind of like hold it over my brother a little bit. We were playing Gary South Shore,
Okay.
and it was my dad's first game up there.
Wow.
I punched out my first at bat, and then I want to say it was like a 2 or 3 run homer to left center field.
Wow.
So obviously, back in the day, my dad coached me and everything when I was growing up, but we'd have that a whole lot when I would, hit a homer in summer ball and travel ball in high school, and I'd hit his hand going around third, but I actually got to do it in a professional setting,
How cool.
and that's a big thing for him too. Is
Yeah.
like, me and my family are really close.
Mhm.
So, whenever we leave to go to the season every year, it's hard on my dad just because, we're not around and, we can't go play golf or, have dinner together or do whatever we usually do.
Yeah.
But, getting to be there with him that day, it was a pretty cool moment. I was in the locker room and, they had beers in the fridge or whatever. So I grabbed a beer and I walked in, my dad's office at that
Yeah.
point, and I set a beer on his desk and I cracked it open and I gave him a hug and I was like, "Congratulations on your
Oh,
first, you know, pro pro managerial win."
yeah. How cool is that? How cool. What a neat
It was
moment.
pretty dope.
Ready for Fungo?
All right, let's do
All
it.
right. Starbucks or Dunkin'?
Starbucks.
All right. Last TV show you watched?
Supernatural.
Oh, wow. The greatest snack food?
Greatest snack food. Snack food. As okay, right now I'm gonna say dill pickle hot Cheetos.
What? Dill pickle hot Cheetos?
I've never really been a hot Cheeto fan at all ever, but those
I
they
don't.
came out with those, and I've been hammering them for like the last
All
month.
right. I got to get me some of that. I didn't even know those existed. All
Yeah, they're good.
right. Best baseball movie?
For love of the game.
Mountains or beach?
Mountains.
Coolest Star Wars character?
Obi-Wan.
Nice. Wait, do you like the young Obi-Wan or old Obi-Wan?
Young Obi-Wan. Ewan
Okay.
McGregor. Yeah.
Nice. Lunch with anyone in history. You can have lunch with anyone in history. Who would it be?
Jesus. That'd be a pretty cool one for me.
All right. What is your hidden talent?
I sing and I play guitar.
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah.
Were you in a band or you ever do that with hanging out with your buds?
I've tried to in the past. Never really. I mean, obviously, it's kind of hard with baseball and everything,
Yeah.
but I wanted to. I wanted to do stuff like that. I've been trying to kind of write my own songs and stuff, but
No kidding.
usually, if I can, because I'll bring my stuff up there or whatnot.
Yeah.
If I can find like a bar or something that has like an open mic night or something like that, I'll try and go and like play shows.
That's cool. Oh, that's cool. Awesome. Kittens or puppies?
That's a tough one. I don't know if I can. I have both. I'm a fan of
Oh,
both. So
okay.
I was gonna say both on that one.
That's fine. That's fine. Most listened to on your Spotify playlist.
A lot of people aren't going to understand this one. It's an album called Fatalism by Polaris. It's
Okay.
a heavy metal like rock band. I listen to it a lot when I work out,
All right.
stuff when I hit. So
Cool. Cool. All right. We'll put that on your playlist, fans. And then
good,
final.
yeah. Good luck, fans, with that one.
And say it
That's an
again. What was the
18
album?
plus. Like, huh?
Oh, what was the album and the artist again?
Fatalism. Let me look this. Actually, I can't look it up right now because I'm on
Okay.
Zoom. But
Fatalism is the
um,
band.
No, Fatalism is the album,
Album. Okay.
and Polaris, like the
Polaris.
Ranger. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, yeah.
All right. Look that up. Polaris. I'm going to look that up tonight too.
Good luck.
And finally, if you were a Pokemon, you would be.
Snorlax. Yeah. 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 Now, you ain't heard that one before, have you? That's a good one. Tell you what, on my days off, it's
You're
a
a spark
sweet.
plug, but you like to be snow.
Yeah, I like to, on my days off, I like to be lazy. I'm gonna play video
That's
games, I'm gonna
funny.
eat, and I'm gonna chill.
All right, Jax, we're going to wrap it up here. So we always end the show with our final pitch. So the final pitch is because this is a show for dogs fans, um, fans that we know and who are going to definitely love you, but also fans that are maybe new to the game. We want to draw them in. Do you have any special message for dogs fans?
Thank you so much, for having me here. I'm obviously, came by a trade and whatnot, but I'm excited to be in Rosemont at Impact Field and give you guys the best show and best product that we can. Like I said in the beginning, this is all about you guys. So if you guys ever have any questions, concerns, anything for me, feel free to find me at the ballpark. Come talk to me, and I'd love to chat.
Cool. And then if they want to follow you online or connect with you, is there a way for them to do that?
Yeah, so my Instagram is Groshans _11, and then I think my Twitter is Groshans _15.
Okay. Cool. Well, fans, remember to follow the Fool. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, a little bit of TikTok, and of course YouTube. You're watching on YouTube. So just search Chidogfool, Chidogfool, and then make sure you give this video a like and a subscribe and all that fun stuff. Jax, buddy, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to meet you, and I'm so excited to have you on the team. And man, I can't wait for opening day 2026.
Absolutely. Can't wait either. I'm
All
excited to
right,
be a
buddy.
part of it. Let's go. What's up, Dogs fans? It's Jaxx Groshans, the new catcher. Excited to see you guys this year. Get out to the ballpark and give you guys some great memories. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and do what's cool. Follow the